There are a lot of people who enjoy multiple sides of Halloween. Some people love being scared, some people really don't, and some people love a mixture of those things. So today I wanted to take a look at 5 video games that I thought were really fun to play on Halloween or around the Halloween season. This is recorded in 2025, but even if you find it later on, I'm sure that most of these will still be fun to play, that definitely fit the vibes of what Halloween is, but they're not super scary. They're not games that are straight up horror games or anything like that. They're really just Halloween fun. So these are my 5 picks for that. And I do have a question of the day for you today, which is, what is a game that you would name as a Halloween-y game, or a game that fits the vibes or the feelings of Halloween that isn't necessarily horror? Let me know.
Number 5.
Now, the very first one is the Luigi's Mansion series. Now, I know that maybe picking a series is a little bit of a cop-out to start, but all of the Luigi's Mansion games are the same in terms of their core concepts, but different in terms of how it's actually executed in its specifics. Because there are multiple Luigi's Mansion games at this point, and like most Mario games, you don't really necessarily need to play the ones before it to get a kick out of what the newest game is. Luigi's Mansion is just like that. It's essentially a riff off of something like the Ghostbusters. You actually have Luigi going around using technology similar to what the Ghostbusters use and capturing ghosts, trying to essentially clear areas. In the very first one, it's trying to recover Mario, trying to help your brother. But in general, there are different goals, a lot of different characters, and a lot of fun to be had. Yes, it has ghosts. Yes, it does have some, spooky-ish areas, but this is one of those games that I think people of all ages can turn on and have a fun time with. If you have a little kid, maybe like a son or daughter or whatever, who's 4, 5, 6, they might actually find this a little creepy, but you yourself could sit down as a 40-year-old and still play this game and have a fun time in Halloween, whether you like horror or not.
Number 4. It's the 4th one.
4.
The next one is a little less appropriate for all ages, but it is still a really fun game, and that is GTA Online. Now, I know in the past on this channel I've talked about preferring the single player of a lot of those Rockstar games, wishing they would add to them, all of that stuff, and I do still stand by that, but something great about a game like GTA Online is that it does get updates depending on the season. So when it's Christmas, or in that, general season, you get a lot of snow, you get a lot of events going on around that. When it's more close to Halloween, or Halloween itself, you get things like what's going on right now. Photographing ghosts, UFO kidnappings, just general stuff like that. I believe there's a zombie or alien survival mode that kind of switches out interchangeably. I think right now it's a alien one. But in general, GTA Online is very good with having these different times of year feel unique while still staying true to the game itself. It's this wacky, kind of ridiculous game in a parody of real life, and I think that the Halloween events kind of show that as well. For example, during this event, I was kidnapped by aliens, I woke up in an FIB underground secret bunker and had to solve a puzzle, and I unlocked a pair of UFO boxer shorts for my troubles. Yes, it is all ridiculous, but it's a fun version of ridiculous. And I think a lot of people enjoy that side of Halloween, the wacky, spooky side, not necessarily the bloody side or the terrifying side of it. And GTA Online definitely works for people like that to have a fun game to play this time of year. By the way, if you are enjoying this list, I actually did a top 5 just the other day on the 5 best superhero games to watch for Halloween, so that is up on my channel. It's my previous video. I hope you'll check that out.
Number 3.
Next up is Call of Duty Zombies, and this could work for most of the titles personally. Alright, a little bit of a zombie snob opinion here. I prefer the way it worked from games like World at War through games like Black Ops 4, but there are a lot of different Call of Duty Zombies modes across a lot of different games, and in general, most of them are not focused on the horrific side of things. Like, yes, there is blood. You are blowing up zombies, you're shooting them, things like that, but there is also a lot of ridiculousness to it. You go around drinking sodas that give you powers. using gumballs that also allow you to do ridiculous things. There's pack-a-punches where you can turn a gun that shoots bullets into a laser rifle. Call of Duty Zombies has a lot of personality. And again, for me, like personally, when I think of this, I think of things like, World at War, Black Ops 1 especially, Black Ops 2. I think of games like Black Ops 3. I'm not really necessarily thinking of the newest ones where it's kind of gone in a completely different direction. I'm thinking more of this round-based survival, fun, interesting thing that you can do either solo or with your friends that has those creepy vibes to it, but it's not necessarily a horror game straight up. It is a shooter where you're just basically tearing zombies apart. And I think for that reason alone, it's a fun thing to do on or around this time of year that doesn't really get old, because there's so many different maps, so many different versions of this mode, so many different people you could play it with, whether it be online or people in your own friend circle, that zombies is something that there's a real reason why it's a mainstay. There's even a reason why people who don't like the direction Call of Duty has gone anymore with all of its other modes still sometimes buy the game just to play zombies. It has a unique subculture all to itself. It has a unique continuity all to itself. The lore is rich and deep and actually surprisingly complicated. In general, it has a lot of heart, and I really do enjoy it.
Number two, the numero dos.
I tried to bury this one a little ways into the list because I didn't know if some people would immediately click off if I said it right away, but I genuinely mean it, and it's Fortnite. Now, before you just say, I hate Fortnite, Fortnite's the worst, blah, 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 I get Fortnite is not for a lot of people. In fact, if you go back, you look at my channel history, in videos I used to do on here, or sometimes even on Degenerate Plays, my podcast style Let's Play channel, I used to actually be the #1 Fortnite hater, okay? I looked at this game, I thought it was for little kids, I thought it was cheesy, I thought that it was really just this big microtransaction shit show, and while there are things in it that obviously you can buy, I'm not disputing that at all, I ended up coming around on this game and finding it to be a lot of fun. And in general, it is a game where you dress up as your favorite characters from fiction, whether it be characters from The Walking Dead, whether it be characters from Dragon Ball Z, even characters from Metal Gear. You dress up as your favorite characters and you go around and shoot each other. I mean, what is more Halloween and American than that? Putting on a costume and shooting your friends, that's an American game. Jokes aside, Fortnite is very enjoyable because it does actually change depending on the time of year. Now, this can be a downside too. There can be a map that's out that's really interesting that gets replaced for less interesting areas. That can certainly happen. But depending on what time of year you play Fortnite, there will be Halloween activities and festivities going on where you can carve pumpkins, where you can go around and interact with actually spooky kind of things that are not straight up horror, or there might be a Christmas event going on. It just really does change depending on the time of year. And I know this year, for example, there was the ability to become Ghostface from the Scream franchise. You could actually get a skin for Jason Voorhees if you bought that in the shop. That was there. You could fight Jason Voorhees as a boss. And you might be thinking, oh, those are all just straight up horror. Yeah, but they find a way to make this game appropriate for pretty much all ages and all groups of people. People going into Fortnite are not scared. I'm sorry, they're just not. It's not really terrifying to be on the map when you can hire Scooby-Doo to travel alongside you as a companion and make a sandwich for Shaggy in one match, or help Fred fix the mystery machine in another, or you can go and fight Jason Voorhees. I mean, these things they're not really things that mix in the way that scare people, but it really does feel like a celebration of everybody's favorite fictional characters. And for that, just the idea of being able to dress up, go around, play in a map, and have fun, I think Fortnite is great for that. And it actually kind of acts as a platform at this point where there are hundreds of game modes, some made by Epic Games themselves, and some actually made by users like you who have made up their own creative ways to play around this time of year. Anyway, I will say, and this is my little shill moment, one of the best things that helps this channel is my Fortnite code, DJAY123. I always really appreciate those of you who use that in the Fortnite store, And while I'm not specifically a Fortnite channel, I do cover it when things happen that I enjoy. Like, for example, The Simpsons is actually coming to this game very soon. And as a huge Simpsons fan, I think I will probably be making a video about that soon. But in general, you know, I think Fortnite is a great game for really most seasonal activities.
Number 1! Splat.
The last game on my list is a bit of a sleeper pick, possibly for some people. They might not even know what it is, but it is MediEvil. Now, this game, if I could think of it in one short term, it would be Tim Burton coded. Like, it's not made by Tim Burton, but it's very, very much in that Tim Burton-y or Guillermo del Toro, you know, unique mind of someone who likes horror and likes the macabre, but it's not scary. You know, this is a game where you play as Sir Daniel Fortescue, a character who I enjoyed so much I bought a Funko Pop of him, who is a soldier who died leading a battle in the past, and people think he's a hero, but really, he's kind of a loser. I mean, he died immediately in the first charge of this battle, and his myth was built up over all these years, and he's resurrected, and now he actually has to stop an evil force in the world, and he doesn't know what to do. And so kind of antics ensue during this entire game. It's very fun. I love the atmosphere of the game. It is so unique. It's been remade a couple of times. The footage I'm showing is from the remake of MediEvil for the PS4, which is the one that I personally would recommend people pick up. But there is an original version on the PS1, there was a remake for the PSP, and there was even a sequel that I'm still hoping gets remade also on the PS1, which was MediEvil 2. In general, the characters in this game are very fun. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor that almost feels very British in terms of its dry sense of wit, kind of like Wallace and Gromit, but it does still have that very Halloween vibe to it without being actually scary or horror. I recommend it to pretty much anybody. I love this game. I played it enough to actually get the platinum trophy on it. It was really a good use of my time, and every time this time of year comes around, I think about this game, which I think goes to show just the staying power it has as a very concise, good game that stands on its own completely, and it's just kind of an all-in-one package experience that you just get the game, you play the game, it's got all the Halloween vibes to it. I love it. So this was my list of 5 games that I think you should play on Halloween, whether it's this Halloween in 2025 or in the future, that are great. And you might be saying things like, well, why didn't you mention something like Infamous Second Son? Why didn't you mention Batman Arkham Knight? I'm sure they'll come back on a list in the future, but I actually did make entire videos on those for last year. So if you're interested in some other Halloween videos, I have ones up this year, I have ones from last year as well. I actually kind of want to make a playlist of some of my Halloween vibey videos as well. And if you want to support this channel, you can use our Fortnite code, like I said before, DJAY123. Consider joining our channel memberships, where you get access to a lot of, unique videos that are not available anywhere else. Appreciate that very much, those of you who are on there. Thank you so much. And as well, we do have our own store, cosmobunny.shop, where we sell one-of-a-kind items, coasters, keychains, trays, and more. I actually believe that the end of today, October 31st, or maybe it's the end of November 1st, we'll have to see, is the end of our super sale, which is using code MOON for 20% off your purchase. And you might be wondering, whoa, what's the deal with this? What are these? Well, these are made from recycled books that have been damaged. So basically magazines, comic books, different things like that, like manga that have been damaged. We take some of that, we turn it into something new transformatively by making it a piece of a different art piece, and then we actually recycle the rest of that paper and make sure it ends up in, not landfills. We actually make sure it ends up where recycling is supposed to go. Because unfortunately, a lot of these books end up just thrown away, and they end up in landfills and just taking up room that they don't need to. Making something new out of them and giving them a new home is something we have a passion for. So I hope you'll check that out. And if you are watching this after that code ends, DJAY123 still always gets you, at least right now, 10% off your first purchase over there. So I hope to see you there. Have a fantastic day. And as always, everyone, stay shway.